Hello.
Okay, so I am Lynn Zaffino, the director of the Easton Library, and I'd like to welcome everyone tonight to this virtual art reception of Ellen Tresselt and Larry Morse, who are exhibiting their works in our library community room. And we are extending the exhibit. It was supposed to end this week, but we are extending it indefinitely, so it's open-ended. So those of you that are in the area, if you haven't had a chance to come and see it, it'll definitely be up for at least a few more weeks, so you can come out to the Easton Library and you can take a look at it. And Ellen and Larry, I would like to thank you for exhibiting, at the library and sharing your art with us. And it's a great exhibit and it looks wonderful in the room. So Ellen's exhibit is called, she does collage work, and it's called Works on Paper. And Larry's is paintings, and his exhibit is called Black Men Reading. So I am going to turn it over to you, and just let me know when you want me to put up the mission statements up on the screen for you. So Ellen and Larry, take it away.
Thank you, Lynn. Hello,
welcome.
everybody.
Hi.
Yes.
Larry's actually, hi everyone, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Lynn, and also a huge thank you to Dolly for curating this. It just wouldn't have happened otherwise, but it's been a group effort for sure, and a lot of cooperation from everyone. So Larry's gonna go first. And do you want to start with your mission statement and then your poem?
Actually, the other way around might even be better.
All right, I'm going to just kind of turn this.
Okay, a poem by Langston Hughes. I dream a world where man no other will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. I dream a world where black and white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth and every man is free. Where wretchedness will hang its head and joy like a pearl attend the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream our world. And Langston Hughes. And so how do we make Langston Hughes' dream come true? It's going to take work on all our parts.
Oh.
Everything okay?
Camera, right?
Unmute.
Temporarily knocked out,
I don't know where the picture went.
but they get up again. You'll find
we
it.
can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yep,
I see, okay.
we just have to find a way to get the picture back. Larry's good at this.
There should be something that says connect
Ellen.
to video, or there might, look down in your left-hand bottom corner. There may be something that says start video.
I appreciate this, everyone. I don't know where. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Okay.
I'm just going to actually hold it.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes, it's going to take some work on all our parts, everyone. And maybe my mission statement will shine some light or for some sense of my idea of how that might occur, at least.
If you want to post it, Lynn, now is a good time.
Okay, I'm trying to do that now.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how to do it.
At least insofar as this meager artist's efforts can add to that. Okay. Are you posted, Lynn?
I'm trying to do screen sharing, and I'm trying to call up my the file. Just bear with me a second.
Okay.
Actually, here it is.
There we are. Excellent. My artist statement. As a result of economic, social, and historic realities, reading as a way of life has hardly been sufficiently emphasized as much in the Black culture as it is in others. The job of teaching the skill of reading and the love of reading has been left to educators, whereas the development of adequate reading skills requires that the early home base become a major part of that process. Blacks as a whole are not afforded that advantage for the most part as a result of well-known outside pressures. The media plus one's peers play a major role in shaping the lifestyle of Black children and young Black men. These two factors place no emphasis on the value of reading as such. When we recall at one time in history, it was against the law to teach a Black man or woman to read, let alone for a Black man or woman to be caught in the act of reading. That the punishment was death for either. We are reminded of the profundity of this subject. We are reminded of why it is now more than ever so vitally important that Black men establish the custom of reading as an example for those who follow. So,
Okay.
and I can't take a subway without a book. The experience is just, that was a false attempt at humor, because to tell you the truth, I just find I find that opportunity to do something too important a temptation, and so what better thing to do than read, right, when we're commuting. So I would observe other Black readers especially, and with what we just discussed in my mission and what we know of the need for insights into how we might best manage this incredible hurdle we're getting over in society these days, this outpouring of a desire to understand our deep-seated problems in our culture in terms of race. Reading for Black men, I feel, is most recommended. I think if I have anything to say, that might be a most valuable contribution. So here, this gentleman here, Mr. Taylor, I approached him. He's in a coffee shop, and if I could, with the facts of that I am an artist and was engaged in the pursuit of a series on the subject, and he was very excited and very happy to pose for me. And he stated, he gave me a little note to take with me. He said, "Readers are leaders." So that's what this piece is titled.
My turn?
This is Al's piece.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, it's like checker, like that.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Greetings. This is a little difficult. My work is under glass and can't be seen terribly well, but all my
Yeah.
work is collage. I don't paint or draw anything. Everything I do is cut paper. And I have a little bit of a series going of mandalas. And if it's possible to maybe angle it around, that might be able to be seen a little better. And I'm going to read my artist statement as well. My chosen medium is collage. Everything that you see is many different kinds of cut paper or some glued down object, such as thread, sequins, feathers, fuzz, or glitter. By the way, I know there's an echo in here and there's nothing we can do about it. In order to create a precisely ordered image that will tell the story I have in mind, for there's a story embedded in each of my collages, there ensues the process of finding, choosing, organizing, making, and assembling each individual element to be finally glued down forever. A tremendous amount of unavoidable chaos, that's really putting it mildly, that drives my creative mind. And you should see the room that I work in. The room that I work in is like insane. It's a very chaotic thing when I'm having all these millions of elements around that I'm trying to just put together into one thing. So it's the creation of order from chaos that drives my creative mind, because I do think that order comes from chaos, and actually chaos is its own order. I think that too, I believe that. While I'm working on a piece out of necessity for a time, chaos must become its own order. In my process, I confront and face down many of my fears so that in the end, there's only love made for the world to see. So, and I'll just say quickly that this piece, if it's possible to see it, is called The Only Way Out is Through. Usually when I work, my intent and purpose is kind of not known to me, and it's not until I finish something and look at it in months and years to come that I begin to understand what I was even trying to do or say. And I learn more and more about myself and my message from my divine self to my earthly self. So this piece, if you can get it to the center at all, is kind of, this is going to come as sort of a surprise, but this is kind of a vaginal image for me, as far as like a birth, kind of a vaginal birth, and that out there, like through there, the only way out is through. So out of this realm and into the next, I just feel that this collage represents for me a process of being born or transitioning from one world to an inner world to an outer world, or an outer world to an inner world. It can be both. So that's that.
Thank you, Al.
Okay, I'll hold for you. And we're going to try to really move this along, because it would be wonderful at the end if there could be questions or comments. We would like that. So we're just going to try not to talk too long.
Okay, so here, this piece is named, it is titled Reader on the Number 2. Okay, once again, a gentleman who is whiling his time deep in the subject of his book as he's on the train, and I'm a little subconscious or reluctant to, I don't know, infringe or be intrusive in those situations. So once again, I asked him if it was all right and shared with him some vital information about what I was up to, and very happy to receive his well wishes and great interest on the subject. I hope these people will somehow one day see the works. But here, this work I just want to share with you jumped onto the canvas most willingly. Some pieces I wrestle with, like not unlike wrestling with a bear, and others have this decided desire to come to the world, and this is one of those. So when I look at this piece, I have this, like, maybe the same feeling a mother has towards one of her children who resulted in an easy birth. But yeah, so, and back here to
Okay.
Elle's piece.
This collage is called Eyewitness. I'm going to talk while you sort of
Wow.
try to get it.
Look at that.
So
Nice.
there are a million pieces in this. I usually give people a magnifying glass to look at it with, because there's just so much embedded in it. It really is made up of a tremendous number of eyes, like just, I cut them out of National Geographics. I got them out of all kinds of just magazines and periodicals.
Really interesting.
There's glitter,
The,
sequins, feathers, there's a
Baron
lot of stuff in it. I wanted it to be very racially diverse. It's, when you look at it, you almost really can't tell. It's just a lot of eyeballs, but there are eyes of, you know, every description of person, of race and age and gender. And in the center, usually in the center of a mandala, everything is pointing in, like to a center point, but I have fingers that are all pointing out, which to me suggests that the answer is still out there as opposed to in here. And that there is no one answer anywhere, that there are a million answers, and that the answers are just all out there. So that's probably enough to say about this piece. I'm sorry that it doesn't show up terribly well. If anyone can come and see it, try to see it so you'll get it. Okay.
Very nice, Al.
Okay.
And you know that
shows up beautifully.
one of
Yeah.
my
Oh,
favorite-
thank you.
One of my favorite pieces, although
Okay.
all of your work is just
Here we are.
outstanding.
Right.
Reader on the Beach. This is, I guess, inspired by and taken from, as I will oftentimes use photography or photograph for reference. I have not ever attempted or had it in mind to reproduce a photograph or mimic that technology. It's just for reference, but Elle shot me on the beach reading this piece with Richard Wright's biography. And as I was seeking to find references or material that I could use for this series, I turned a page and there it was. I don't think I give a whole lot of justice to the photograph, because Elle will show her photographic or photography skills regularly. But there, I enjoyed doing this piece. I enjoy adding in what might be a relatively realistic work, that which comes off as, and that which is decidedly abstract. That's something that seems to work very well, and it turns out to be very gratifying for me when I have to then look at my own work.
Okay.
Here, Elle.
Okay. This piece, and you know, I should say a little bit about us, about Larry and myself. I'll just try to get that in kind of quickly. Larry and I met in 1970 when we were both students at the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan. I will say that for myself, it's the one and only time that I ever felt or recognized love at first sight. I recognized Larry the moment I saw him, and I knew that I loved him. And I have loved him continuously ever since. Our lives have been chaotic and tumultuous. The last time we ever saw each other was in 1977, and then we didn't see one another for 34 years until Larry found me. I hate social media and I hate Facebook, but he found me on Facebook, you believe it? So it did its job, and we've really been together ever since. But so for us and what we're doing going back and forth here, you can see our work is really different, but we have this common thing that joined us in the first place. We were classmates, we were friends. And so it's really quite exciting and exceptional that, and I never thought that our work could necessarily even go together because it's so different, but I think it's precisely its difference that makes it pretty cool to actually be together. And we really enjoy helping one another, guiding each other, being critical, and we're not competitive because obviously what we do is so different. And so we just enjoy this blessing of having met as seekers of, you know, each of our own pursuit of art. So, okay, now back to this. Oh, and one other thing, the collages on this wall of mine, I work really slowly, and each one of these pieces that I'm showing you has taken me 10 years or more to make. I work incredibly slowly, and the other work that we're going to see after this, I do much faster, but these pieces are sort of my high end of my own art. And so both of the mandalas, as well as this piece, which is called The Barren Princess. I worked on, not continuously, but over a period of about 10 years. This one has thread in it and a lot of my marbled paper. I made it without plan or forethought. It's highly autobiographical. The princess who's here in the foreground is seen holding a bird, and she's wearing a very special dress. And here, if you could just show my dress. So here I am wearing my special dress that, it's a very amazing dress.
Wow.
It's my princess dress. I'm so happy to have an excuse to wear it. So she's holding a little bird. There's a man, an anonymous man, and riding off in the distance, and he's holding a bird. And for her, this is sort of the end of love and the loss of the feeling of the end of dreams of love or fulfillment in her life. The river in the middle is full of fish. To me, fish symbolize fertility. The princess has no children. I have no children. There's a dragon and a leopard that are sort of doing battle and having, you know, all kinds of conflict, which I feel is sort of her emotional barriers to being her true authentic self. And she has a little boat up here, which is like a boat of escape. But these barriers and these issues are preventing her from accessing her pathway to her own true self. And so The Barren Princess came as a surprise to me. It was created just really I just kept thinking, oh, I'd like to do this. Oh, I'd like to do that. And it wasn't until after it was really completely finished and I said, oh my God, you know, that's like myself in there. And so it's really helpful to me. It's very therapeutic to look at this because I've moved on and, you know, guess what? I found love. I have love. So I don't even really feel like the Barren Princess any longer. I feel like the blessed goddess, not even the princess, with this love. Thank you. Okay, that's that. All right.
Now, these pieces were inspired by and take place in Elle's most miraculous landlady's house, her grape arbor, that is. Irene shared with you examples of another type of work I do, and I want to say thank you for that advertisement and thumbs up. Yes, the top one's called Reader in a White Shirt. The bottom one's called Reader in a Grape Arbor. And we move along. This here is pretty much, I guess this one, this piece kicked off the, yes. And it's with this gentleman, as I had said before, I wish the people could now see what the result of their encouragement. And I said it because once again, I approached this gentleman and he couldn't have been more supportive of the idea of everything that would go into this. And this piece is called, this is the inaugural piece. This is Black Men Reading. And once again, it gave me an easy time. These pieces in general want to come, they want to come here. I'm excited to continue the series because we're not done by a long shot.
And you know what's interesting, if I could interject, is that we have the tumultuous events of 2020 and everything that's happened with Black Lives Matter and the heightened awareness of police brutality and wrongful deaths. But these pieces, Larry started years ago. And I think that what makes them kind of so powerful right now is that he didn't make these like in response to George Floyd. He just had this desire to make this work. And it seemed very much as though now was the time, the absolute moment that it had to just burst forth. But I think it has a real kind of vibrancy and a depth that it was made out of his own, if I can just speak to you like the third person or whatever, out of his own convictions and not in response to something that was just happening in current events. And that also I can say about Larry, that he has not ever in any, if you look at his Instagram account, Morse Larry, if you look at his Instagram account, he's never identified as a Black artist or made like Black art. And so again, this work is a real departure and a bold step to claiming a piece of identity that is just kind of really emerging now out of just an urgency. And so that's enough to say about that. Okay.
Perfect storm, huh? So
Yeah,
true.
perfect. There we go, perfect storm.
Thanks for that.
Okay.
This piece here, in a certain kind of sense, relates where I am a veteran, and here we have the one and only, his truly, Uncle Sam.
That's in Danbury?
This is in Danbury. He's
remnant of the Danbury Fair.
It's actually a large sculpture, and I believe it was a part of Danbury's earlier history.
It was lost for years after the Danbury Fair ended, and our mayor was so proud of himself because he got it back. And it's sort of like the crowning glory of Danbury. He put it by the railroad station.
Tell him the fact that
where am I?
Elle was very. I
can't get it right.
Elle was concerned that there were no cars in the parking lot. So tell about that.
Okay, at the time that Larry painted it, it was for a show that he was having at City Hall in Danbury, and he painted this painting. I said, "You got to do Uncle Sam." So he did it kind of fast. He brought it to Connecticut. I said, Larry, there's no cars. There's no cars in the parking lot. That's usually a really busy scene. There's a lot of traffic there. And he's like, I just can't, I couldn't do it. Well, then COVID came along, and guess what? The parking lot has been empty. The place is closed, everybody. So while a lot of people are putting masks on the Mona Lisa and doing all kinds of things to sort of be like, oh, we're wearing masks now, I think this is really Larry's COVID painting, because you can drive there and see it looks exactly like this. It's just empty with Uncle Sam and the Metro North trains there, just kind of, well, they're still running, of course, but they park there. That's like their terminal where they park. So it kind of was like prophecy. It sort of just came to pass, which is very interesting. Okay.
Now
Now we go to
pleasure of taking a close look at another one of your pieces. Gosh, look at this.
Excuse me.
all right.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's time to talk about me and marbled paper. In the early 80s, I was teaching art at a private school for a very short time. And I'll hold it up. It's okay. I'll hold it up. And I was teaching art at a private school, and I was looking for things to do with the kids, and I came across paper marbling, and I thought, oh God, I did something like that in high school with like oil paint and turpentine on water. So I got the real instructions for how to really do it, and I did marble paper with my students, and as soon as I did it, I said, get out of the way, kids. I don't care if you get this right. I love this. This is something I want to do. I'm going to do this. And right away, I thought I can use it in my collages, which I do. It's in every one of them that you've seen so far. But I became a production paper marbler for about 10 years. I made sheets of marbled paper like this, which I sold to picture framers and bookbinders. I had a calendar of my marbled paper. This is these are just pieces of examples of my paper marbling. It came out in 1997, I think.
Wow.
I had my paper used by graphic designers, like for shopping bags, things like that. And paper marbling took me all around the world. I went to Istanbul and I went to Cuba, both for marbling conferences and to teach marbling. So these collages from here on out for the rest of this show are much more lighthearted. They are just an effort for me to loosen up and just not take 10 years to make something, and just have fun and kind of get in touch with my hippie, psychedelic past, because I am, I don't care, to say how old I am. I'm almost 70. And so that's my time, the 60s. And marbling actually went through a big resurgence in the United States, starting in about the 1960s, even though it's a very ancient art. It's an Islamic art that was found when the Europeans traveled the Silk Road. They found all through Asia and Central Asia that this form of floating colors on a surface and combing them into patterns, and then putting a sheet of paper down on top of the water and lifting the pattern that is made on the water, on the surface of the water, onto paper. And so marbling has been a portal for me to mystical, just a real journey of self-discovery. That's about enough to say about that. So
Thank you, Al.
okay, maybe we can just unplug
Very
this for a minute
insightful.
now.
We can.
think?
I don't think there's any
Okay,
danger of
all right.
running out of
And then, because we're almost done,
battery.
there's very few left.
My
to go.
last famous words, right?
So you can just hold these things close to these.
Okay.
If you can get a close up on this, I enjoy like taking things out of magazines and marbling them and then cutting them out. So these are actual like marbled cars that I cut from magazines and just marbled them. And that's that collage. And then,
Here, you hold this, and I
Okay.
want to get that extension cord.
oh, okay. And then this one is a sort of a mix of a lot of, it has cut paper, it has marbled paper, it has a magazine thing in it. And I just feel that I'm not really able to do them justice, but if you can even get a sense. And as I said, everything that I do is cut and glued, unless it's already on the surface of the paper because it's a piece of marbled paper. So there's that one. Oh, and I titled this one, the other ones, I've titled them all like after rock and roll songs. This one's called Nobody Knows What's Going On in My Mind But Me, which was a song by the Chiffons in about, oh my God, like 1967 or something like that. And the first one was, oh, it doesn't matter. The titles aren't really that important. Here's another, whoops, another small one. And there's only one more, and then we'll be really through our work.
Check out this work, everybody. My goodness.
Okay. And
I'm so taken by Elle's
here's this one.
collage work.
It's called We Chase the Bright Elusive Butterflies of Love.
Oh, yeah.
And that one is, you know, like, I'm into the psychedelics here. Even though I didn't really do a lot of psychedelics, but I think we all just absorbed it. And that's really our show, everyone. So thank you so much for bearing with us in our technical, you know, challenges. We're learning. We're not the generation that takes to this so easily, but we'd be more than happy if anyone has comments or questions for either one of us to talk.
I do. Can you hear me?
Outstanding.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Beverly. First,
Hi, Bev.
Hi, Bev.
I'm getting dizzy.
Yeah.
I'm getting dizzy, but I don't think it might be the marbling, and I don't know. It could be the camera. I'm like, I thought it was me. And then, but I had a question also for Larry. So with the paintings, particularly on the subway.
Yes.
All right. So it's, you know, about that internal process activity. You're there. You're reading your book. So
Right.
Your brain is occupied, but you're also out there, say on a train or otherwise out in society. So this black man, not a woman, a black man, was also able to divorce himself from the environment, so that any unpleasant tree that I hear so often happens to a black man out and about can be avoided, and they can have a more pleasant train ride. Is that part of it? Do you think?
Yes, and certainly that really unfortunate aspect of it is present, but all in all, it's an escape, and maybe a preparation for getting to work and doing what you have to do, or clearing up the mind, or keeping the mind clear after having woke up and now find yourself on the way to work. But it just makes more pleasant or more tolerable a part of the day that we can have some control over. We can.
I was thinking of that
We
word.
can take out our book. We can take out our book and read it. And it's pretty much that thing in common I had with these individuals, because the next question would have been, what book is that? And who's it by? And what's it about? That kind of thing. But I wasn't so predisposed to get into that in any of these times, because I'm thinking to the ultimate. I have here a model, a guy, you know, and so but it's that thought of having that thing in common, kind of a kindred spirit of having books or the books that important to us, or play that kind of role. And then the other part of it, the subject matter we're reading about being enlightening enough, and offer some clues as to how we might find our place in this madness, you know, as we go forward.
It's big.
To explain to us somehow what the unexplainable might be, and so it's something I enjoy so much, and to the point where I just want to. I'm kind of passionate or excited to say, try this, you know, that kind of thing.
Thank you. And
So,
can I
yeah.
also
Thank you for that question.
well, thanks for reading the poem. The poem was beautiful too. Yeah, the poem.
Yes.
He has a few others,
Um,
some other.
yes, poetry. My goodness, that's a little hobby of mine. And when I'm painting, I can then recite to myself some of my committed poetry. That's like I say, a hobby of mine. I've compiled quite the list, and it just makes life wonderful, and it really plays on the work I do, as does the fact that I'm a musician. You know, all of that. We're like living. We're eating, living, sleeping, everything else art, right? And it makes it nice.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hello, Ellen and Larry. How are you?
Hi there.
Hi, Irene.
And I'm
Hi,
just,
Irene.
in case anyone came in late, and I'm just going to turn my laptop around. This is one of Larry's abstract paintings, and I just wanted to kind of show it off again. Larry and Ellen, you need to let people know, this is one part of my question, how people can get in touch with you if they want to purchase one of your beautiful pieces of art.
Okay.
Oh,
Website, or what's the contact?
Thank you, Irene. It's so vitally important, and
I have
it
another
shows you what
question. I want to say that.
Okay. Okay. Morse Larry. It's my full name, reversed, on Instagram. Okay.
oh, wait, you should maybe give your email
And
for email.
okay, email is
On
Z.
social media. Not everyone's on social media.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
email would be best.
Okay, ZOAAOZ96@gmail.com. Thank you, Irene.
And then my work, I do so little of it. I have sold work in my life, but the work that I have here is almost my entire body of work. I do so little. I'm very attached to my collages. If I had more of them, I would try harder to sell them. That being said, if someone is interested in something, again, just contact me directly. My prices are negotiable. Just sort of depends on the person, the circumstance, all of that stuff. So my email is ntresselt@snet.net. And just send me an email, and then we'll exchange phone numbers, and we can talk about anything that and I also do work on commission. That's another thing I've done a fair amount of, is so that if it isn't necessarily one of these pieces, but someone is interested in a mandala type of design or something like that, I do work on commission. So that's, yes.
I can type your 2 emails in the chat for people.
Oh, cool.
Larry, can you just tell me yours again?
Z as in
As in zebra.
Yes. Z as in zebra, OAAOZ AOZ96@gmail.com.
You don't want to do the county
ZOA AOZ, right?
Yes.
96@gmail. And Sheila, I realized I just sent that to you. Let me change it so everyone gets that.
And this really, as I said, is a dream come true. In 1970, I would have never believed that we would ever show our work together. At the time that we lost touch with one another, it's sort of a funny story too, because the way that really happened is that back then, in that time, people would have nicknames. And so you would say, well, you know, Rabbit's here, and everybody would go, yay, Rabbit, you know, and nobody ever questioned if his name was really like, you know, Jimmy Jones or something. And so Larry had a different name. He had a musician name, Zoa, Z-O-A, and he still is Zoa. And so he really told me that his name was Zoa, and I just said, that's Zoa. And then he kind of went,
So it made it impossible for her to find.
right, he told me his real name, said, well, my real name is blah, 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 you know. So I knew it was Larry, but I didn't remember his last name correctly. So when we parted for the last time in 1977, I could never find him again. And so thank goodness he did reach out to me, and we got to do this cool thing that we're doing, and we're really enjoying ourselves.
Yay.
Yes, we are. And it's so good you're here. You make it. It's,
Is there any other questions or comments? Like,
I just want to say, I'm so astounded by the two of you. I mean, your work is absolutely incredible.
I know.
Just
Good work.
so incredibly beautiful and powerful. And Ellen, I don't know if you know, but I'm a quilter, and I love to put pieces together like that. And but your marbling and the way the colors and
you know, you can marble fabric, Cindy. Fabric is a wonderful
marble fabric.
quilting with it.
So beautiful. We have to talk. We have to meet on a walk and talk. But
I
thank
would
you so
love
much.
that.
This was astounding, and to hear your stories about your relationship, about each other, about all your pieces. It's just wonderful. I've loved every minute of it.
that's tremendous feedback. Thank you,
Cindy.
Lynn.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
that's
That was
Sydney.
Cindy. That was
Sorry.
Cindy.
I just wanted to say I'm here.
That-
Take a look. Just take a look.
I don't even know who's here. Who's all the people that are here?
Well,
That was
I can tell you, I've seen Ellen's work progress from being a babe to now.
Oh,
And it's amazing.
Didi.
You know who it, yeah, and it's
I
amazing.
know so much about you, Didi.
So,
It's wonderful. It's
yeah,
good.
it is wonderful.
Irene, did you have a question? Or
Just going to ask, you know, for them to, if they could just do it briefly, how do they inform each other's work?
good
Ooh.
question.
How do we inform each other's work?
Influence or inform? Influence?
That's interesting. Ellen and I, one of the more memorable classes we took at our School of Visual Arts was printmaking, was silk screening, and then Elle ultimately becomes expresses herself in the manner she does, which is another kind of printing. And
Oh, the marbling,
the
right.
marbling.
They are prints, they're
And,
monoprints.
Exactly.
Like
Mono
a
print.
one-time thing, yeah.
So I guess in a kind of subconscious kind of way, with my work, the silkscreen is evident in that the really, what would you say, just continuous and with solid aspects of different parts of the piece, rather than
Maybe more in other paintings
manipulate
that are not on display here
the tone.
than the
Oh,
ones we're
right.
seeing.
Yeah, you would have to.
You'd have to see some of his
another
other,
part
his
of my
abstract
body
work.
But that's a really good question, and yes, that so Elle's work inspires me to swirl it up a little bit.
I'm always telling him, like, you know, pull more details. You need more details. He's very
No.
bold and quick and broad, you know, and I'm like so, you know, like that about everything. So he helps me. Okay, here's the answer to that question. Larry helps me to get looser, and I help him to go tighter. And he's much kinder than I am. I mean, I'll just flat out say, oh my God, you know, I don't like that. Whereas he might say, do you really want to put that there? You know, why do you have, so, but we're not afraid to help each other that way, because that's what happens in art school. You critique each other's work. So we do kind of come from that kind of a background where we could do that. And it's pretty rare, really, to encounter somebody. And I think also, like, you know, feelings are not hurt. It's not like an ego-driven thing of like, you know, insults or hurting each other's feelings. But it's really just helping each other to be better, more thoughtful, more aware. So that's, I guess, the answer to that.
That is more of what was comprehensive answer to that question. Yes, our ability to critique each other's work, and to add points of view or offer sensibilities, perspectives on what it would mean to us, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's. Thank you, Elle.
Yeah.
Sheila, did you have your hand raised? Were you waiting to say something?
Oh, no, I was just saying how much I enjoyed this, and it was amazing. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Yes. I really have to say,
Likewise.
Dee Dee, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you came.
I'm kind of tempted to hold up one of your pieces of work that you made many years ago. But
Oh,
this
boy.
Ooh.
I'll have to come
Let's see it.
over.
All right, wait.
I wish that you could all meet.
Oh,
one
she's gonna
another.
get
I
it.
know where it is.
Oh my God, she's gonna get it.
You're not going to get it. Look, that's absolutely beautiful. Why wouldn't I get it?
Oh,
Look at
That's
this.
right.
Can you see?
oh man.
Look,
Oh
look.
my gosh.
You remember?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, can I get closer?
Oh,
yeah,
Oh.
beautiful.
Pretty.
Oh,
Isn't it beautiful?
I had
Yeah.
forgotten it, but I remember it.
Oh, wow, check that out.
Okay, so here, the painting has
good.
better longevity than my marriage that she gave it to me for.
I love working with ephemera. I love working with like, you know, old Victorian things and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess, you know, really, this probably wraps it up. I just thank you all so much for coming and for joining with us. It means a lot. It means a great deal. I love you, Larry. I love you so
Ellen
much.
speaks for me.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you, Ellen and Larry. And again, those of you who haven't seen the exhibit locally, you can come by and see it within the next few weeks at the Easton Library Community Room. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.